If there's one thing that can bring peace to a human soul in the middle of chaos, it's Amor Fati, the love of fate. A simple idea, yet powerful enough to change the way you see everything, from loss and pain to the very moments you once wished had never happened. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it," and that is the essence of Amor Fati, to turn everything life throws at you into fuel for inner strength. In one of my earlier reflections, I talked about Amor Fati as a way to endure the darkest moments of life. The idea is to love and embrace whatever outcome unfolds, no matter how hard we worked toward a goal. By doing so, we free ourselves from the obsession with results. We stop being prisoners of what might happen, and instead, we focus fully on what is right in front of us. The next question, of course, is this: how do we actually do that? In today's video, we'll go deep into 4 powerful Stoic practices of Amor Fati. 4 ways to train your mind not only to accept what comes, but to love it, even when life seems to turn against you. First of all, a sincere thank you to Merlin Coffee, Mesimar, Steve, Paulson, and Alberts for your generous support of the Stoic habit. And to all of you who've chosen to give anonymously using the Super Thanks feature on the channel, I see you, I appreciate you, and I'm deeply grateful. Every gesture, every message, every ounce of support means more than you think. I'm constantly working to make your listening experience better, clearer, deeper, and more meaningful. Now, let's begin. Part 1: Why we suffer. We don't suffer because of what happens to us. We suffer because of how we react to what happens. Epictetus once said, "No man is disturbed by things but by the view he takes of them." A man who loses his job doesn't suffer because he lost it. He suffers because he tells himself, "I've failed." A person betrayed in love doesn't suffer because someone left, but because they believe, "I'm not enough." And the one who fears the future doesn't truly fear the future. They fear losing control. That's why we suffer, because we try to control what was never ours: time, outcomes, other people's emotions, even fate itself. Marcus Aurelius, surrounded by war, disease, and loss, still wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Everything else, fame, health, wealth, love, are variables of the universe. The tighter you try to hold them, the more peace slips away. But when you learn to let go, that's when you finally become free." Part 2: The 4 practices of Amor Fati, the path to inner peace. Practicing Amor Fati isn't just philosophy, it's a discipline of the mind, love of fate. The words sound poetic, but to live them demands strength, because the mind loves to wander, always chasing futures that don't exist, building illusions that steal the present. To master this art, the Stoics trained daily. They built habits that taught their souls how to stay calm in the storm, how to love what is, not what could have been. And these are the 4 timeless practices they used to train that love, the love for fate itself. Exercise 1: Deliberately face what you fear. Most people run from fear, but the Stoics, they walked straight toward it. They looked it in the eye until it lost its power. Seneca once wrote, "It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for adversity." Because if you don't train your mind when the sky is calm, you'll be swept away when the storm comes. Imagine this: you fear poverty. Live for a few days with the bare minimum. You fear loneliness. Stop chasing attention and spend time alone. No phone, no noise, just you and your thoughts. You fear failure. Do something small where failure is possible and watch how you survive it. You'll realize fear doesn't kill you. Avoiding it does. Avoiding it makes you weaker, smaller, more fragile. And then comes the revelation. What you thought was the edge of suffering is actually the beginning of freedom. I once met a man in Los Angeles. He had everything. A house, a car, a steady career, a beautiful family. Then the financial crash hit, and he lost it all. 3 years later, I asked him, "What kept you from breaking?" He smiled and said, "I realized I hadn't lost anything. I was only stripped of what made me forget who I really am." That is Amor, Fati in motion. When fear dissolves, because you've looked straight into it. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act in spite of it. Exercise 2. See every change as an opportunity. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "All things are born from change. Nature loves to create what is new. Change is not the enemy, it is the law of life itself. We suffer because we try to freeze what was meant to evolve. We cling to what was and curse what's becoming. We think losing a job is failure, a breakup is the end, betrayal is tragedy. But if you look closer, after every loss, life quietly rearranges you, placing you exactly where you were meant to be." I once had a friend who lost his job during the pandemic. He was crushed, terrified he wouldn't survive it. But that forced pause became his turning point. He learned new skills, started over, and built a life he now loves more than ever. A few years later, he told me, "If I hadn't been fired, I'd still be living in fear of losing that job." When life takes something away, it isn't punishing you. It's teaching you how to live without depending on it. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish. Wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." When you begin to see every setback as a setup, you stop resisting life. You start transforming it. Like a fire, the winds that try to extinguish it only make it burn brighter. Exercise 3. Realize that happiness is relative. In 1978, psychologists Brickman and Janoff Bullman conducted a fascinating study. They compared the happiness of 3 groups: lottery winners, accident victims who became paralyzed, and ordinary people. And the result? 1 year later, all 3 groups were almost equally happy. It sounds absurd, but it reveals a deep truth about human nature. We adapt faster than we think. It proves one thing: happiness doesn't come from circumstances. It comes from how we see those circumstances. What we believe we couldn't live without today, in time, we live just fine without. Seneca called this the trick of emotions. He wrote, "What we fear is often not what truly harms us." We think the rich are happier, yet they live in fear of losing. We think the poor are miserable, yet many walk in freedom of spirit. Happiness is relative, so is suffering. I once met a man, 65 years old, dying of cancer. When someone asked if he feared death, he smiled and said, "No. I only fear not living fully in the days I have left. That is Amor, Fati." It's not the denial of pain, but the acceptance that pain is part of the journey. And sometimes in the darkest chapters of life, we discover the purest form of happiness, gratitude for simply being alive. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If something external causes you pain, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. We cannot control the wind, but we can adjust our sails. We cannot choose every outcome, but we can always choose our response. That is the ultimate freedom of mankind, the freedom to choose your attitude in the face of fate itself. Exercise 4. Live fully in the present moment. The future doesn't exist. The past is already gone. All that remains is the present, and that is where fate truly unfolds. Every human sorrow begins the same way, by resisting what is. We grieve the past, we fear the future, we cling to what we have, and in that struggle we lose the only moment that's real, this one. Seneca once said, "We complain that life is short, yet we live as though it will never end." When we worry about tomorrow, we abandon today, the only place where life actually happens. Every second you're hearing these words, that is your life. Not tomorrow, not when things get better, but right now. The Stoics believed, only when you live completely in this moment can you welcome fate when it arrives. Because when fate knocks, it doesn't ask if you're ready. Look at a child at play. They don't mourn yesterday, they don't fear tomorrow. They're fully immersed, completely alive. That is Amor Fati in its purest form. To love the present, fragile and imperfect as it is, because it's real. So stop asking, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what can I learn from this? Because every moment is a lesson, and only when you are truly present can you learn to love it, whether it's a day filled with joy or one covered in tears. Part 3. The Art of Loving. What is imperfect? Someone once asked Epictetus, "How can I love a fate filled with loss?" He answered, "By understanding that fate is not against you, it is you. Everything that happens, good or bad, is part of the road you must walk to become who you are meant to be. Erase suffering, and you erase the chance to grow. Avoid hardship, and you reject the strength it was meant to give you." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Amor Fati doesn't teach passivity, it teaches mastery. It doesn't whisper, "Do nothing." It says, "Do everything," with love for whatever the outcome may be. If your life were filled only with pleasure, you'd never learn courage. If it were always easy, you'd never discover strength. It's the storm that strengthens the roots. It's the loss that teaches gratitude. It's the pain that deepens the soul. Nietzsche once said, "I would not wish to be free of suffering, for it is my scars that make me who I am." That is the art of Amor Fati. To love not only the light, but the shadow that made it visible. Part 4. The Daily Practice of Amor. Fati Morning. When you wake up, whisper to yourself, "Whatever happens today, I will love it." Traffic, losing money, being misunderstood, see it all as part of the path. When fear rises, ask yourself, if the thing I fear most actually happens, will I still survive? In 99% of cases, the answer is yes, and that single answer sets you free. When loss comes, don't say, "Why me?" Say instead, "What is this here to teach me?" Because every pain carries a lesson that only it can teach. Before you sleep, look back at your day. Thank both the good and the bad, because every experience, every moment, no matter how small, is training your mind to be calmer, stronger, and at peace with life itself. Conclusion: the way of Amor Fati. Amor Fati is not just a philosophy, it's a way of living, a declaration that says, I choose to love this life, even when it doesn't love me back. Picture this. You're standing under a night sky, surrounded by silence and stars. Every heartbreak, every loss, every lonely night, they're all tiny sparks scattered across the darkness. And if you step back just enough, you'll see the truth. Those sparks form the masterpiece of your life. That's Amor Fati. It's looking at the entire picture and smiling, because you finally understand nothing was wasted, no pain was meaningless, every scar, every storm, every fall was necessary to shape the person you are now. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Love the life you have been given. Nothing is evil to the man who accepts his fate with love." So from this day forward, when life tests you, when people disappoint you, when your plans collapse, breathe in and say softly but firmly, "Amor, Fati." I choose to love my fate. Because when you do, life no longer happens to you. It happens for you. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs it tonight. And if you're walking your own Stoic path, subscribe and grow with us here at the Stoic Habit. This is more than a channel. It's a brotherhood of calm souls learning to rise above chaos. Now tell me in the comments. Just write one sentence. From today, I choose Amor, Fati. Let's begin this journey together.